You are listening to Small Business Straight Talk with your host, Amber De La Garza. Amber is a sought-after coach, trainer, speaker, and writer who gives small business owners the straight talk on productivity, time management, business systems, leading your teams, strategic decision-making, and mindset. No BS, fluff, or overused jargon. Just actionable strategies to get results and succeed in business. And here is your host, Amber De La Garza, the productivity specialist.
Welcome, and thank you for listening to the Small Business Straight Talk podcast. Today is episode 362, The Priority Dilution Trap, Why You're Working Hard but Getting Nowhere. If you're a small business owner who wants to learn effective business strategies, improve time management, and elevate productivity to maximize profits, reduce stress, and make time for what matters most, then you're in the right place, and I'm so glad you've joined me. Are you tired of feeling exhausted at the end of the day because you've worked so hard but accomplished so little? That might be because you fell into the trap of priority dilution. Stick around because in today's episode, I'm going to break down how to get out of this mindset, organize your tasks so that you can power through them, make progress on your goals, and feel accomplished at the end of the day. I would like to invite you to take my next level business owner quiz. Are you a business owner? Do you want to take your business to the next level? Do you want to find out what's most holding you back? Take a quick 3-minute quiz to find out what's most holding you back, and then get a personalized playlist to help you solve those pain points. You will get specific episodes that have strategies and methods that you can implement immediately to get results in your business. So seriously, go take this quick 3-minute quiz so that you can take your business to the next level. Head on over to amberdelagarza.com/quiz. And before we dive in, a quick note about today's episode. This episode has several invitations to go back and listen to specific episodes that dive deep into related topics to this one, and that will provide a ton of value. The easiest way to do that is to head on over to amberdelagarza.com/362 for a list and links to the recommended podcast episodes to go along with today's episode. I'll be sure to remind you at the end of today's episode that link and how you can access it easily by heading on over to my website. So sit back and enjoy. And now let's get to the straight talk. Prioritizing tasks is like creating a roadmap for success. It helps you navigate your workload efficiently, reduce stress, and achieve your goals with greater ease and satisfaction. So what exactly is prioritizing when it comes to your tasks, and why is it such an important activity for business owners to do? Prioritizing tasks is the process of determining the order tasks should be worked on based on their relative importance, urgency, and impact. I'm going to repeat that one more time because this is the essence of today's episode. Prioritizing tasks is the process of determining the order tasks should be worked on based on their relative importance, urgency, and impact. Essentially, it involves deciding which tasks need your time, energy, and attention first, and which tasks can wait. And that involves some thoughtful decision-making. It would be unwise to prioritize and focus solely on your most important tasks first, or solely focus on your most urgent tasks, or solely focus on the tasks that have the biggest impact without factoring in the other significant variables of those tasks I mentioned. A task that is urgent might not be that important to your big picture or have a high impact on achieving your goals. On the other hand, a very important task with a high impact might not be urgent. All tasks must be weighed against each other's importance, urgency, and impact on your overall goals and vision of success. With that being said, prioritizing your tasks is difficult. Prioritizing your tasks is really a task and a skill in itself. It takes time, energy, attention, and decisiveness to prioritize your tasks. But it is a necessity that helps you be more efficient because it effectively lays a roadmap for what to work on and how to invest your time. Prioritization is a skill you can develop over time and over time. It will become easier and feel way less burdensome. Plus, you'll feel more accomplished at the end of each day because you'll have made much more progress on your high-value tasks and projects than you would have otherwise. Now that I've defined what prioritizing is and why it's important, let's talk about what prioritizing is not. It is definitely not thinking everything is a priority, or everything is important, or everything needs to be done right now. When you say or think those thoughts, you are doing the opposite of prioritizing, which is priority dilution. That's because when you allow everything to be a priority, nothing is a priority. Priority dilution is often rooted in perfectionism, indecisiveness, lack of clarity on your goals and vision of success, indecisiveness, people-pleasing, or simply feeling overwhelmed by your growing to-do list, to name a few. So, you might cherry pick which tasks you focus on while neglecting others that need your attention. Divide your time between tasks and projects and make little progress on any of them, attempting to multitask. If you attempt or find yourself attempting to multitask, I recommend you go listen to episode 134, Hardwired to Multitask, to find out why that is never a good idea and what to do about it. Or perhaps you simply freeze and not move ahead with any tasks because you're unsure what to work on. I'm going to share with you an example of a business owner who owns a consulting firm and what that looks like of him falling into the trap of priority dilution so that you can get a better picture of what I'm talking about. On any given day, he accepts every client meeting request, even for small projects that don't align with his firm's growth strategy or his ideal client. He personally handles basic bookkeeping instead of delegating it to his accountant or bookkeeper. He spends hours tweaking the company's website design rather than focusing on high-value client proposals. He gets caught up in resolving minor team conflicts that his manager should be able to handle. Priority dilution is the enemy of your goals and can be an easy and common trap to fall into, especially for small business owners who wear multiple hats. The constant influx of tasks, emails, voicemails, clients, and team meetings, marketing, and product updates can make every task feel urgent. The problem? Not all tasks have equal weight when it comes to driving your business forward. So why does priority dilution happen? Priority dilution tends to occur when you don't have clarity on your goals or vision of success, and therefore you're not clear on what activities will specifically move you closer to achieving your goals. In other words, you have not identified your high-value activities. Your days are spent managing all the fires that require your attention, even if they're not truly a priority. So you just work on whatever task is on your mind with whatever time you have left over in your day. Urgency bias. People naturally gravitate towards tasks that feel urgent, even if they're not truly important. And this happens for a number of reasons, but here's a few. Urgent tasks provide immediate gratification and a sense of accomplishment. The human brain is wired to respond to immediate demands. Quick wins trigger dopamine releases, making us seek more quick tasks that give that dopamine release, thus falling into a dopamine loop. Another reason, and a big reason, why priority dilution happens is indecisiveness. You could be indecisive about prioritizing your tasks because of decision fatigue. Business owners face countless decisions daily, which lead to mental exhaustion that makes it harder to focus on complex strategic work, defaulting to easier, more immediate tasks as mental energy depletes, reduced willpower to stick to your planned priorities. The next reason why indecisiveness may be affecting you is that you might fear making the wrong choice and having to deal with the negative consequences. Thus, you feel stuck and refrain from making any decision at all. Fear is a big driver of indecision. Next, information overload. This can paralyze decision-making. In today's world, we have access to endless data and options for almost every choice. While having options is generally good, too many choices can overwhelm your cognitive capacity and make it harder to commit to any single option. And next, number 4 is perfectionism. Perfectionism also often underlies indecision. Some business owners might feel that they need to make the absolute optimal choice rather than accepting that many decisions don't have a perfect answer, just different trade-offs to consider. And number 5 reason for being indecisive is fear of delegation. Many business owners struggle with letting go because they worry tasks won't be done to their standards. They've built their identity around being hands-on, and they fear losing control or visibility of operations. Understanding these root causes of priority dilution might help you overcome these obstacles and be more intentional with taking the time to prioritize your tasks. So I'm going to repeat these reasons for you. You don't have clarity on your goals or vision of success. Days are spent managing all the fires. Urgency bias. And lastly is indecisiveness. So let's jump into next answering the question of what is the cost of priority dilution? I'm going to break these down into 2 primary areas, 1 business and 2 personal. Let's start off with business. When everything is a priority, nothing truly gets your attention it deserves. This can lead to missed opportunities, lost revenue, stagnation, and burnout. Have you ever looked back after a long day's work with little to show for your efforts and wondered, where did all the time go? Do this day in and day out, and your motivation for continuing to go dwindles. Burnout is right around the corner. Blindness to opportunities because the overwhelm is so great. When you're not focusing on your high-value activities, that often leads to lost revenue because you're not prioritizing closest to the dollar and those activities that affect revenue, thus profitability. These are just a few, but to sum this up, priority dilution does not let you lead your company. It does not let you lead your team effectively. And it certainly will not get you to the results that you're looking for, i.e., achieving your goals quicker, faster, effectively. Next, personal. Priority dilution negatively impacts your mental health and depletes your joy. Constantly juggling a myriad of tasks with haphazard direction can leave you feeling anxious, drained, beaten down by your work, and making it harder to show up as your best self for your team and clients. You matter. You are so valuable to your business, to your clients, to your colleagues, your team members. And if you feel like you are beaten down at the end of every single day because you're not able to properly prioritize your tasks, there are solutions. As we've been talking about, there is a solution to the trap of priority dilution, and that is prioritizing your tasks. I'm going to share with you 4 easy steps to do just that. Step number 1 is identify top priorities. I'm going to share with you a few methods to help you with identifying your top priorities. Number 1, get clarity on your vision of success and goals. For more support around goal setting and vision of success, you can head on over to amberdelagarza.com/goal setting, and you'll see all the episodes that I've done on goal setting thus far here on the podcast. But I also want you to be on the lookout for upcoming in-person events that I'll be offering, as I did last year, that will help you identify your vision of success, set goals, and plan out specific strategies, projects, and tasks to accomplish those goals. This event in November of 2024 was amazing, and you will be hearing more about that from those who attended the event. And I do plan on doing a couple more in 2025. So stay tuned if you would be interested in having in-person support around vision of success, goal setting, and identifying the strategies that will help you achieve those goals. The next method is to ensure you have a centralized task list. I want you to use a digital task list or project management tool, preferably like ClickUp or Asana, or if you're using something else and it's working, use that. But the key here is that you have all your tasks in one centralized location. Even if it's a yellow legal pad, even if it's on a sheet of paper, I want you to meet yourself where you're at. The key to this method is that it's one centralized task list. It is impossible to actually prioritize your tasks if they're not all together in one place. Because, as you remember, tasks are prioritized based on their relative importance. So you really want to have a full inventory of all of your tasks. Next is do a brain dump. So once you've committed to one centralized location, ensure that it's completely updated. A task list that is not updated and you're still keeping things on in your head or on sticky notes, or they just have not been captured, will not allow you, again, to properly prioritize. The next method to help you identify your top priorities is that you can use the 4Ds method. And you may have heard of this method. I dive deep into this method and how to apply it for you in your business and your day-to-day in episode 290. But essentially, it is going to be the method of using a filter with every new task that comes into your world and asking the following questions. 1, does this need to be done? If not, delete it. If it needs to get done, the second question you're going to ask is, can this be delegated? If so, delegate it. If not, the third question you'll ask yourself is, does this need to be done right now? If not, defer it so you can really focus on your high value, high priority items. But if it does need to be done now, then it ends up in the 4th D of do. Now, I succinctly said that in just 30 seconds. But if you really want to understand this method and apply it, head on over to episode 290, the 4Ds of prioritizing your tasks and projects. The next method to help you identify your top priorities is going to be task evaluation. As a reminder, when we opened today's episode with defining priorities, we did so by saying that it is the process of determining the order tasks should be worked on based on their relative importance, urgency, and impact. So, as you're prioritizing your tasks, I want you to consider the following. What is the relative importance? In other words, how significant is the outcome of this task in relation to the other tasks? Next, what is the urgency? Is there a hard deadline, or is there some wiggle room? Is there flexibility? Is this truly an urgent task that needs to get done? And answering that one honestly is key, because you can get into a pattern of defaulting that everything is urgent, and we do not want to do that. So we want to ask and answer this question honestly. And then lastly, while prioritizing your tasks to evaluate them, you want to ask, what is the impact? How much value will completing this task contribute to your yearly goals, thus your quarterly focus and your monthly milestones? You have to have clarity on your goals to know what kind of impact the completion of any given task will have on the progress towards your goals. So just to recap that section, I want you to evaluate the task based on the definition of how we are prioritizing: relative importance, urgency, and impact. Next is step number 2, delegate. When you wear so many hats and are juggling everything under the sun, instead of delegating, you have less time, energy, and mental bandwidth for your high-value priority tasks. You wind up being so stuck working in the business that you can't work on the business. The result? Your priorities get diluted. It's important to delegate the tasks your team members can complete so that you can reduce the number and scope of tasks on your list and be able to prioritize the tasks that only you can and need to do. Make it a habit to ask yourself, am I the only person who can do this task? If not, delegate it to someone on your team, outsource it, or plan for an additional hire. I have several great episodes that dive into delegation. We have episode 187, 5 musts to delegate effectively and be satisfied with the results. 338, hey hero, it doesn't need to be you. And episode 360, which was just a couple weeks ago, delegation strategies to free up your time and empower your team. Again, as a reminder, we'll be linking all of this out in the show notes. Step number 3, time block your day. This is a foundational method. There are so many reasons why time blocking works, but in today's episode, we're talking about time blocking and how it helps avoid priority dilution. One form of time blocking that I teach, because I teach 2 different methods, but the one we're going to talk about today is dedicating specific time blocks to your top priorities that you will work on. So the other method I'm sure you heard of is like every Monday looks the same, or every week the schedule looks very similar, or you have theme days. The time blocking I'm talking about is identifying the specific priority tasks, answering, what am I doing, when am I doing it, and for how long do I think I'm doing it for? When you do this method and align it with your high energy time of the day, your ability to focus, to get in your productivity flow, that is the magic. And one of the reasons why this is challenging for business owners is because you have to answer that third question. How long will this task take? So if you have a difficult time knowing how long tasks should take to schedule accurately, then take a listen to episode 320, 6 tips to manage your time blindness. All right, next is step number 4. Regularly reevaluate priorities. I mean, look, we are real people running real businesses, living real lives, and our priorities change rapidly. And you know that. You're experiencing it every single day. No matter how well you've planned out your day so that you can be more effective and more efficient with the time you have, unexpected circumstances arise sometimes and change the equation. You must be flexible and adapt quickly. When the unexpected occurs, take the time to reevaluate your priorities, because those also might have changed due to the outcome of the unexpected event. Things like the computer breaking down, a client canceling last minute, or your kid getting sick. All of these are regular occurrences because we are real people. And so when these occurrences happen, you want to be able to reprioritize rapidly. Another strategy to help you regularly reevaluate priorities is to do what I call a daily wrap, review, and action plan. This method is detailed in episode 350, diving into my daily wrap framework. In that episode, I teach you in how 15 minutes you can wrap up your day, ensure nothing is falling through the cracks, and reprioritize and plan your day for tomorrow. So if you would like support in having a structure and a framework to go plan your days to be more effective and efficient and to be focusing on your priority tasks, head on over to episode 350. So let's recap the solutions that I shared with you to get you out of the trap of priority dilution. Step number 1, identify your priorities. Step number 2, delegate. Step number 3, time block your day. Step number 4, regularly reevaluate your priorities. In essence, priority dilution is a silent thief of your time, energy, mental bandwidth, and potential. It's absolutely the enemy of your efficiency and success. So don't allow yourself to fall into the trap. Instead, consistently prioritize your tasks. It's worth taking the time to do so, and you'll gain greater control over your time, reduce stress, and increase overall efficiency, and become more productive. Hey, as a reminder, if you want to check out the other episodes that I mentioned in today's episode, the easiest way to do that is to head on over to amberdelagarza.com/362. We'll be linking out to all of those in the show notes of today's episode. I have loved having you listen to this episode of the Small Business Straight Talk podcast, and I sure hope you found our conversation about priority dilution to be valuable. But I need to be straight with you. No change. Without taking action, nothing will change for you or your business. Stop diluting your priorities. By focusing on your priorities, you will see the wins in your business. You will feel more accomplished. You will achieve your goals. You'll be less stressed, and so much more. So if you resonated with what I shared with you today on any level about diluting your priorities, I am inviting you to take action and flip that. Do it different. Approach your priorities differently starting today. And if you enjoyed today's episode, but you want to go deeper and you would like coaching and support, then we should talk. Head on over to amberdelagarza.com/work with me to find out how we can work together. Again, that's amberdelagarza.com/work with me. If you are new here, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. Be sure to hit subscribe so you don't miss another episode. And if you've enjoyed today's episode and you think that someone you know would enjoy it, be sure to share it. Sharing this podcast really matters. It is not just helping other business owners navigate entrepreneurship and the day-to-day of running their businesses, but it is helping me get my message out so that I can make a bigger impact. So that's my straight talk for today. Until next time, have a productive week.